what is important when we do a side view is that side view is not bidimensional. Side view is following a perspective, because a side view is an object in perspective. If this is a little model, when I do that, can you see the perspective? Look at the back wheels and look at the base of the car. All right, so now you understand that what you had in your sketch is very bidimensional. It's almost like an engineering drawing, a side view of mechanical parts, First thing, start always with the ground line. And another thing, as you can see, I draw really, really light. And you will understand later on why I do that. First of all, I make the first wheel. So you have like a sedan, Yes. So, put the wheels. Now, I put the center of the wheel. And remember, every time we do the base of the car, this part, the rocker panel, it's just a little bit below the center of the wheel of the car. So I'm putting a line there, you see? And I go over the wheels, front and back. Then I remember that this is in perspective. So I will draw the other two wheels in perspective. And as you can see, very light, one is here and the other one is here. Then I know that the base of the car and the cast shadow on the ground also are in perspective. So I make another little line there, as you can see, with a little bit, 4 millimeters maybe in this scale, And then here, I do this. Here is a little bit more. You see the distance? Because this is the shadow of the whole car on the ground. So also in the front, when I take that line and I go over, that's my reference, you see? Yes. Okay. Now look what I do. I just put my gray, okay, I just make a little bit of shading, just a little, so that we can get an idea of what's going on. Now there is another thing that probably you already saw, that when I'm doing the shading, I am always using this angle with my lines. And they are very parallel, okay? This is a think of discipline. Comes from architecture, drawing, artistic drawing. It's very important to give quality and also to have control of the shading that we'll do later. So when I do just the cut shadow, you see, can you feel already that you have a car on the ground? Yes. Okay, that's very important, because when you look at that, it's almost, you feel there is a body on top of that thing, Okay, so now looking at your sketch, look what I do. Remember when we did the line exercise? So you have a front and you have a back. And you said, yeah, the back is a little bit too low on my sketch, remember? Yes. So the lower part already take care of it, you see? That's my reference. Now we'll do the top. And when I do the top, as you can see, I inclinate a little bit the axe on my line. Because I want to make sure that I don't find myself with the lower back, and a very high front, because that would be a little bit strange. The same time, some cases, you want to have a lower back, like for example, Porsche or those type of vehicles. All right, so then we said it's a sedan. When you do a sedan, the beginning of your windshield has to be after the front wheel, not on top. Because the cabin would be too much in the front, and then you would have a huge, area in the back, in the C-pillar, and you don't know what to do with it. In fact, in your sketch, it's visible. So, I do this, I try to pick up, your lines like that. And then I just go like this, trying to understand what I want to do. I will have a longer back. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm thinking of two things, and you have to do the same thing. I'm thinking about proportions first. So as you can see, I have a longer back overhang from here to here, and then I have a little bit shorter overhang in the front. So that change, you see, that difference, it gives you the feeling of a more dynamic volume, more dynamic proportions. If both front and back were the same, that would be very static, Yes. It would be like a perfect triangle. But we don't want that. Then there's also another thing I'm thinking. When I put my windshield, I try to shift the whole cabin toward the back, so that I have a long nose and a short top of the back. And that's also to give a dynamic look to this car. Now I will draw the wheel well. You see, from here to here. And I will do the same thing in the front. Why? Because when you put the wheel well, then you have the real proportions of the car. Because this is exactly what people will see, in terms of body color. And here too, all that mass. From here, it's all black. There is a big hole in there. If you don't do that, you will have a huge, chicken leg, and also huge chicken leg in the front, Yes. So a lot of people don't do that, but it's important. So look what I do now. Now I apply the line quality exercise we did before. So first of all, I try to respect your design, okay? I'll just change a little bit, and then I will, that's the highlight catcher, that part. You see the proportions are different. Then you see that line here? This will become my character line. And look, it's starting from this point, and it's ending up to the point of the back where we have a sort of, like BMW, a sort of a spoiler that is naturally, You see, now applying the line quality, can you feel how this sketch is coming out? It's how can I say? It's not rough. It's starting to leave. So I make a negative front upper part where probably there is a grill or something, we don't know. And then down here, I go straight, like electric cars today, Then in this point here, I go a little bit darker because this is the part that is all in shadow. So this part has to be dark. Here, I just go and make it dark around the wheel so that it becomes more clear what we're doing, okay? It's more credible, the sketch. And also for you, because you will understand much, much better what you are doing. And don't worry if it's not perfect, precise, it's okay, no big deal. We are just blocking in the main things, the main elements as a start of a real design. So we have to do, of course, many other sketches to develop this one. I mean, if we want to develop. But let's say that when we start, okay, we start like this. So now I take care about my shadow a little bit better. You see? All right, now we can say, wow, I can understand the car, okay? But I still want to add few more details. Now, I like this. It's very, very particular, but I would like to make it a little bit more inclinated. Maybe it's better. But I like this thing that, with this belt line is very high. So you see, I'm working with that line quality, remember? Line quality, remember? Very dark and then shading to light. And then the top, it's very round. It's not very nice because this is very straight. So I have to make a new line that fits really well this design that becomes very strong. Okay, so I will make a correction. You see? Now it's much better. And now because we have this, I'm looking at this shape and I see that they are very similar. So that's good. So the things go together. So I go there and I just give an accent to that line, you see? And this one I will make a little bit longer, you see? So the advantage of starting to sketch very light is this one, is that after, when you go in and you try to frame in your sketch, you can make new lines and you don't see anymore the old line, the construction lines. So now let's do let's say that this is our light, okay? There. Let's say that here we have the light here, you see? Yes. Then we have a door. Now look, when I make the door, I go around the section, you see? So that everybody can understand the type of body section. And then when you are in the center, you make just straight line. Don't make the mistake that people do. You make the zigzag because there is the section. When you are in front of your eyes, that's the only thing you see, it's a line. But here, again, you see? Okay, so now the last thing I will do, I'll put a little bit of reflection. I will explain to you how I place this reflection. Here I have my section that is very simple. This is a cylinder coming down. So what do I do? Just to make that sketch live a little bit better before I finish, I'll just go with a little bit of my shading done with my pencil. And then again here in the center, very light. Here I'm lighter, you see? Okay, like that. In the center, I will hit again. Once more, but always light. I just want to have a very nice shading. And then, of course, here too, because the section in this area is vertical. And this will give the idea that this surface in the center here, this one, it's picking up the light. Yes. Okay, so this is the sketch.